How are you
Oh,
today?
very good. Very
In
good. It's
incredible.
1 a.m. here. It's dark, it's cold, but super excited to be here with you.
Well, I mean, there's no better place or no better person to be with in a dark and cold place. So I'm really glad I can be your companion. So for everyone who is unaware, Rafi here is the architect behind Homebase.love. So please show some love for the incredible website that he has put together. And he's going to go over a little bit about AI agents and MPC today. So Rafi, if you'd like to share a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Yeah, I'm actually going to make a started presentation and then I'll tell a little bit about myself. So I'll just start on. All
Your
right,
workshop,
share
you
the
do it as you
screen.
please.
All right, there it is.
Nice. All right.
Do you hear it? Oh yeah, you have it. All right, let's do it. Welcome to Building AI Agents workshop. So first, I'm gonna introduce myself as Luciana asked for, and then we're going to go through non-technical explanation about what AI agents are, and then we're gonna go through a little bit technical explanation, but not too deep. And I'll present some of the interesting examples of AI agents happening in crypto right now, mostly on Farcaster, and then we're gonna code an AI agents with the Agent Kit, which is a framework from Coinbase. So I want to keep this session high vibe. Otherwise, I will fall asleep. It's like 1 a.m. here. So I have a live stream chat open in front of me. So if you have any ideas, questions, silly takes, just please don't hesitate to share it. I will try to respond to all of them. All right. So a little bit about myself. I joined Farcaster more than 2 years ago. I worked a bit at Neinar, which is a forecasting infra company, which I'm going to tell a little bit more later on in the workshop. Before that, I was a founding engineer of a neuro AI company where we are analyzing nervous system biomarkers. So that was like years ago, and I used to do AI and stuff like before it was so much more popular. And now I'm working on Homebase with Luciano and Statuette, which you probably know of, and on a new startup where I actually use a lot of AI agents. So let's get to the chase. So what are the agents? So an agent is a program within the matrix designed to maintain order and eliminate threats. I really like this definition, although I don't know if we're at the point right now where we can actually implement it with our current technology. The LLMs and ChatGPTs and Groks of this world are kind of dumb right now. So I suppose more relevant definition is that an agent is a party who acts for another party. It's like a real estate agent, right? You have an apartment, you sell to them. You want to sell the apartment, and you get an agent who's going to handle all of the small details for you. All right, so AI and agents. Let's connect those two pieces together. Now we're gonna have like a little bit less memes and more diagrams, but only for 2 slides, so please bear with me. So AI agent is basically just like augmented large language model, like the one behind ChatGPT. We have the LLMs takes an input, which is the text, and LLMs process it and have an access to three main three main tools or capabilities. One is to retrieve the data and query for the data. The other one is tools, where one of the most popular tools used by the LLMs is calculator. Uh, and then we have the memory, so the LLMs remembers about what the user was talking on before the conversation that they have right now. And then LLMs takes in the text and gives out the text back again to the user. So this diagram is a little bit more complicated and it shows a coding agent. The AI agent is instructed to do a set of specific actions, and they interface with the human being by the interface. So they usually have an access to a set of limited tools, like for example, searching the files and returning searching the files and accessing the files, stuff like that. And a very good example of such an agent is a cursor IDE, where, for example, you can ask for the for the idea for the cursor for the application to say, hey, tell me more about this repo. And what the cursor is going to do is going to call the agent. It's going to ask, use the tool to list all of the directories. It's going to read a couple of files. And then based on those interaction it had with the tools, it's going to respond to my initial query like that. Right, so that is enough of the diagrams. Now we're going to talk a little bit about examples of products, customer products in intersection of AI and crypto. So probably the most popular one is the Truth Terminal. So this is I think one of the most popular and the first AI agent that people heard of. It got very famous because Mark Anderson from A16Z just sent 50K in Bitcoin to the author of the Truth Terminal. And the Truth Terminal is also responsible for creating one of the biggest meme coins in the industry. For example, like the GOAT token, which peaked at $1.3 billion dollar market cap, and then the beloved one Fartcoin. The other example is Clanker, which is token launchpad native to Farcaster. It grew to be quite big, and it's very popular to this day. If we're going to look at the Dune dashboard right now, we can see that the Clanker is still being very relevant today, and people continue to use it, and like launch communities and tokens directly from Farcaster. And although I'm not very interested in meme coins and stuff like that, like I think there is something there. And what I'm seeing here when it comes to intersection of AI agents and crypto is that the interface that we're having in crypto is just like very, very bad. Like the UX and UI problems we've had for years, like some of the issues are just like still popping by. And I think that's a very interesting case for using AI is being able to expose on-chain interactions to the user via interface, by a interface that is human first and is agnostic to any other application that you're using. So here, for example, we have a thread on Farcaster where Naunish Professor is using Braki, which is an AI agent that is an interface to a Braki platform that allows you to do allows you to bet on the sports team. So what Naunish Professor is doing here is basically tagging Braki and asking them about the the price of the shares for a specific match between one of the teams. As you can see, the agent is responding based on the data, and most interesting thing is happening here, where Naunish Professor is asking Braki to do an action on behalf of them. So she's asking to sell 500 Rose shares, which is a sports team, and the Braki on her behalf is actually doing that. So as you can see, um, there is no need to open an application. There is no need to like do the wallet connection, connecting and being able to interact with your own wallet directly through an AI agent. So yeah, what we're going to do right now is we're going to try to create an agent like that using an agent kit. And we're going to create an agent that has its own base wallet, can cast on Farcaster, and can send transaction on chain and look up smart contracts. And most interestingly, we're not going to do any vibe coding. I think we had enough of it. We're just going to write the code by ourselves, mostly because working with AgentKit is just so simple.
And if people want to try and work with AgentKit and follow along with you, where should they go?
Just watch the stream. We're going to do it right now.
All right, so watch you do it. Don't try and replicate what you're doing.
At this point, yeah, I'm going to send the repository where people will be able to, see what I'm doing. The things we're going to do are actually going to be quite simple. So I'm actually that's a very good idea, Lucia. I'm going to send a repository link to the chat so people can tag along. There we go. Oh, I sent it from the home base.
Nice. We
There we
suggest
go.
everyone to follow along and bear with us. Using AgentKit is pretty simple, so whether you are extremely experienced or not, I suggest following along and trying to do it with him. And if not, just watch Rafi, the master, at work.
Perfect.
And also send your base names. I'm waiting for all of your base names right now.
So we're gonna start with going through the README page of the AgentKit repository. Um, so AgentKit is a framework by Coinbase that basically allows to expose the AI agents directly to blockchain. It's blockchain agnostic. It actually supports base, all of the Optimist-based L2s, as well as Ethereum, L1, and Solana. The language it is written in is in Python and TypeScript. What we are going to use is TypeScript because I think this is what most of the people are using here in the audience. And they have an incredible repository where you can see all of the like different examples of what is possible with AgentKit. So, for example, we're going to start with Versal AI SDK with the smart wallet chatbot, which is basically a chatbot in a terminal that allows you to create an AI agent and interact with them through a chat. So on my end, I already prepared the repository that I sent you is already contains this code. And what we're going to do is just to look at it and implement some additional features on top of it. So the core of our, one more thing for anyone who is going to do it live along with me, this repository queries ban. Statuette, I love Next.js. No, I think like next piece. Yeah. So
Dot base.
um, we for this repository, you're gonna need a bun runtime instead of Node. It should probably work on Node, but the best way to use it is with bun. You can very easily just download it with npm I install bun command. All right, so the main code is in chatbot file. We're gonna go walk through it and kind of see what is happening here. We can see that there is a prompt, system prompt. Normally, when you're like interacting with LLM, what is happening is that you're sending the messages, and the system prompt is like kind of like the default message that is going to steer the model to behave in a very specific way. So here we can see that the first paragraph is for that instructing the model that hey, you're a helpful agent, you are able to interact on chain with a Coinbase developer agent kit, and we're just instructing it to use the tools that we are going to provide to it. Yeah. And here in this function, what we are going to do is that we are creating a wallet if it doesn't exist yet. We are creating the wallet direct using a small wallet provider. The wallet is actually created directly on the device, so it's like not shared with anyone else, which is something you would expect. And then we are defining an AgentKit client, which accepts two main properties or parameters. One is the wallet provider. So this is the one we defined that is using the smart wallet. But the very cool thing about it is that the AgentKit also supports many different providers. And one of it is you can use, for example, Vim, Privy, Solana wallet. So all of the blockchains are available directly on, and you can use different platforms, like for example, Privy or even Coinbase Smart Wallet to without thinking about being vendor locked. All right, so here we can see that we provide the wallet providers and we also have an action provider. And what is an actual action provider is basically a set of tools that allows you to specify different capabilities to the agent itself. So this is the tool capability that we were talking about before. So we can see that by default we have 4 different action providers. One is the CDB API, which is a Coinbase Developer Platform API. This allows us to get free testnet ETH for testing. We have the ERC 7721 action provider for interacting with the NFT contracts. And then we have 5 for getting the information about the price stream and some basic wallet action providers, which I'm going to show in just a minute. In just a minute. Sorry, my voice is breaking. I'm a bit sick. And then at the end, when you get the smart wallet providers, we created it, we're going to save it to the file. So every time when you're going to run this program, we'll be able to like use the same wallet. This function is a bit irrelevant. We're just going to, what is it doing is just starting up a chat interface in the terminal. So now we can start the application. And what is it going to do is to create a wallet and then start the agent. So here we have a text interface where we can interact with the agent, and we can see that it responds. So I can ask it, for example, what can you do? And it lists all of the stuff that were previously defined in the action providers here. So, for example, it says that it can do various on-chain tasks, such as checking the reputation of the Ethereum address, which is provided by the Coinbase developer platform, mint or transfer NFTs, which is provided by the NFT action provider, fetch the prices, and transfer tokens. So, for example, since the wallet was created when I started the program, I can ask it, hey, what is my Ethereum address? And it actually created the wallet, and I can look it up on Base testnet scanner. And as you can see, there's like nothing here because we just created the wallet. But what we can do is we can ask it to give us some free Ether just to be able to do any actions on chain. Hey, can you provide me with some free ETH, please? And what is it actually going to do is it's going to use the Coinbase developer platform provider and ask it to send the ETH from the faucet. So right now we can see that the transaction is confirmed. And if we refresh the page, we can see that there's like one transaction happening here. And our token balance increased to 0001 ETH. Too bad it's on testnet. So right now it's very basic what the agent can do. The only thing it can do is just interact with with our account, do some basic transfers, and interact with the Coinbase developer program. You can also do interesting stuff like, for example, hey, can you provide me with my can you give me a price of a Degen token, which is a Parcastor native token? And what we're going to see is that it doesn't really work. And the reason it doesn't work and why it defaults to $0 is because we haven't implemented or provided the tools necessary for the agent to be able to access the data for the price of the token. So since AgentKit exposes many different providers out of the box, we can just look at the source code And here we are able to see that all of the action providers that are built in directly into the agent kit. So we can, for example, see that we can use Alchemy, which is a node provider for Ethereum. We can use Basename provider and be able to interact directly with base names. And as we can see, we also have a Farcaster provider, which enables us to interact with the Farcaster account directly. I think we're going to start with, I think we're going to implement the Alchemy, and we're going to implement Farcaster providers for the starters, and then we're going to see how much time do we have. So with the Alchemy, we can see that the Alchemy provider just defines two main methods. One is the token price by symbol, and the other one is token price by address. So to be able to respond to the question of what's the price of the degen, I suppose we're going to need the token prices by the symbol. So the way to implement it is actually super simple. We can do it by literally adding two lines of code. So first, we have to insert or create an import Alchemy token price provider. And then we have to come back to the definition of the agent kit, which is somewhere here. And then we pass the Alchemy token price provider with its own API key. So the API key you can get for free on the alchemy.com by signing up just for free. I already have it implemented like injected into my environment, so I can just access it by getting an Alchemy API key environmental variable. And now when I restart the chatbot, I'll be able to ask the agent for the price of a degen. What's the price of degen? Oh no. And it's still responsive to this with the same thing. Let's actually ask if to list all of the action. And list all actions. Here can be. And make sure that the alchemy was properly added. Okay, perfect. So we can see that the alchemy actions were added. It's fetch token prices by symbol. Let's try to ask the model to ask the agent to more specifically use this one. Is token price of agent token. Alchemy. No worries, Gray. It's not going to be very complicated and it's not going to last too long. So here we can see that the price of the degen is approximately 0.002 USD, which actually, let's see if it's correct. Okay. Price. So yeah, it looks like it's correct. Perfect. So now with just adding two lines of code or one call here, we are able to extend the agent by two different actions, and we're able to make the agents communicate directly with Alchemy to fetch all of the data necessary for all of the data for the ERC20 token on base. Sorry. The next thing we're gonna do is I want to show you how Farcaster integration works, because I'm a very heavy Farcaster user, and I just cannot resist from just shitting and telling people about Farcaster. So here we previously looked at Farcaster file, and we can see that Farcaster action provider exposes two different tools. One is for showing the account data details, and the other one is for posting cast. So to add Farcaster support, we are doing exactly the same thing we did for the Alchemy. We are going to we're going back to the definition of the agent, and we are simply going to add the Farcaster provider. But with this one, we need a couple of different parameters. So the way the forecaster action provider works is that it is in a similar way, Alchemy enables developers to access on-chain data. Nanar is like very similar product to Alchemy, but it's like product that mostly targets Farcaster. So to be able to use the Farcaster provider, you'll need an access to the Nanar API key. And thankfully, Nanar exposes a free plan, so you can just like sign up very easy and be able to get the API keys and be able to sign up your Farcaster account directly as an AI agent. So here first, I will configure the Farcaster action provider. This is already injected in my environmental variable, so I'll just use this one. It's Nanar HNFID. And finally, we're gonna use the signer UID. So this may look a little bit intimidating, but what we are doing here is you're using Nanar to manage AI agents profile. So here, for example, if I go to Warpcast, I already added an AI agent that is called Farway. And with this account, I connected this account to Nanar, and thanks to this, I'm able to post and manage the account directly through the Nanar interface. And that is why we needed the API key and FID for the provider. All right. So now, after adding in this one, we should be able to see the forecasted tools. Nanar, natural signer. Let's see, there's an error here. Let's fix it up quickly. So it is screaming about Nanar managed signer is not provided. Let's see why. Perfect. I made a typo, as it is usually in the programming world. So now when we open up a chat box, we can just ask the agent to say, hey, man, can you help me with Farcaster? Using Farcaster. What can you take? Perfect. And we can see that the agent is now able to get the account details of the Farcaster account we just connected and post the cast. So just to verify, we should ask him what Farcaster we connected. And it should respond with the account that we connected just now, which is far away. And we can see that, yeah, it is indeed far away. Perfect. It even gave us a profile picture. Nice. So the other thing we can do is to ask the agent to make a cast on behalf of this account. We can just say, hey, can you make a cast? Make a following cast. I'm going to tag myself. Hi, Rafi. How are you doing? And what it's going to do is going to connect to Farcaster through Nanar, and it should send the cast directly to me. And if I refresh the page, and see my notification as Rafi, I can see that the CAS was created directly from this account. So yeah, we're able to just create an agent, extend it with two different capabilities, including Farcaster, in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of code, which I find incredible. Mm, yeah, so from this end, I'm going to send you again the repository link for the thing, and you should be able to very easily go look at the source code or even the documentation of the agent kit. Mm. And check out the official webpage, which just gives you more examples and more documentation about what kind of integration you can do and how to extend it with your own code. One of the things that is really a bummer is that by default, the agent kit supports base names, and we can see it here. There it is. But unfortunately, it doesn't support, where is it, base name? There it is, base name. But unfortunately, it doesn't support the ENS, Ethereum name system. But the very good thing about it is that either you can make a contribution to the open source project, or you can very easily create your own implementation of the ENS. And as you can see, it looks very simple. The interface for creating a custom action provider is just a class with a name of the actions that this specific provider is going to expose. So yeah, I hope it gives you some ideas about what is an agent kit and what are the agents. And that is it from my side. Thank you.
Oh yeah, baby. Rafi, I appreciate you. You are incredible. And do you have any words of wisdom, any words of advice for our base batches contenders?
Don't get distracted by the things that do not matter and continue building on stuff that really gets you going. Because I think in crypto, it's very easy to get distracted because there are so many interesting things happening. And looking at most of the people who are like doing very interesting stuff, they've been set on one specific goals for many, many years. And yeah, never get distracted. Just focus on one thing.
And you're someone that has a pretty good idea of like the current landscape in regards to AI agents, et cetera, infra. And I'm curious if somebody were to ask you whether they should build an AI agent, a use case for an AI agent, some infrastructure, some tooling for AI agents. What exactly would you suggest? Like, where's the best place to start for builders and base batches?
So one of the nicest touching point for AI agents and crypto is being able to create a way to communicate between the AI agents. Because if you think about blockchain is basically a standardized way to store information and share the information between the computers. And AI agents are just like very fast, human-like, like those digital entities that are able to do things much quicker and much faster than humans. So I think like the most obvious next steps for being able to live in a world where AI is more integrated with today's reality is through blockchain. And there's so much work to be done when it comes to the infrastructure and creating interfaces to interact with the existing world and make the AI agents interact with each other. So um, I think and working on problems regarding agent to agent interaction and how they interface with already existing world is something very interesting and something to be is and it is something that is going to generate a lot of value over the years.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think something really interesting is going to be how AI agents allocate capital because as AI agents actually make money, produce real revenue based on their actions or what have you, they'll actually have capital to play around with. And it's really interesting to me to think about how AI agents will allocate capital to other AI agents that are specifically allocating capital. So it's going to be a really interesting game, and somebody is definitely going to figure it out. Like it'd be interesting to see like a Hyperliquid, platform for AI agents, to do exactly this. So
actually
and
hope that it, I actually hope that it's not going to be somebody, but it's going to be a group of many different people because the problems of integrating AI with the existing world is just like so complex.
right,
Like it's very easy to create an AI agent that kind of do the wow effect, which
yeah,
looks really interesting. But then if you just like spend like 1 or 2 more minutes with it, you kind
right.
of realize it's just like not very useful. And the revolution started like 2 or 3 years ago, after like since the release of the ChatGPT, right? And it takes a lot of time to polish things. And I
It
think,
does.
yeah, and I think with AI agents, it is like even more the case because with the software, creating a nice, polished, beautiful uh, program, takes a lot of human work and years of work. But like with the software, like everything is like much more predictable. With AI, you have like this non-deterministic behavior that is so hard to debug and wrap your head around it. So I think like to really integrate all of the technology that humanity invented in last decade is just going to be so much hard work. But I think it's going to be very, very good for everybody.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I mean, do you suggest that our base batches builder should be focusing on that level of infrastructure, or just trying to build on what currently exists?
Um, I think there's like many ideas that are currently implemented, and the exploration phase is this in this. I think the phase that we are right now when it comes to AI is just like an early internet in early 21 century. And I don't think anybody really nailed like the most basic way and the best way to do the
Mm,
infrastructure around AI. So there's definitely lots of possibilities, and there are definitely going to be a lot of teams trying to figure out what to do it, like how to do it in the best way. Um, and one of the interesting aspects for AI agents and crypto is that it gives you the possibility of actually bypassing the problem of the crypto UI UX, right? Because it's been like terrible for years now, and it's so hard to fix it. Is because we're trying to use the technology that is so much different than the Web 2 technology that was like developed for over the last couple of decades, and we're trying to bring it to type of software that just works in such a different way
mhm.
with AI agents and with the Clunker, for example, project that I just showed you, where you could interact with the token. And sorry, I meant Braki, which you can interact with the Braki platform that does the sports prediction. It is something incredible because here now you don't have to interact with like a multiple, like signing wallets and like different browser extensions and so on. You can use the human interface, which is speech, which is like texting on any app you want, any crypto app you want, because it's just going to be interoperable and be able to use the service uh, in the any environment you want. And I think this is like still underlooked opportunity in crypto, or when it comes to using the agents as an interface to communicate with this technology that we are building.
Yeah, we're at such like an experimental and iterative stage to like for the infra that I think you're 100% right, and I'm glad you said that because I feel like most people would be like, oh, for the hackathon, don't even think about kind of what's coming, just sort of build on what currently exists. But I think it's really important to be thinking about like this infrastructure and how it will be changing and how it's going to look completely different than it does today. It's there's still so much mechanism that still needs to be built out for us to really be able to use AI agents in the way that we all want to and we're all expecting to in the future. So hopefully we get there sooner than later, but we're only going to get there by people continuing to experiment with what's possible. And it looks like Gray has a good question here. What security concerns pop up with the new wave of agentic AI, like bad actors getting access to systems that let them actually affect the real world negatively? Do you
Yeah,
s-
I was
do,
just yeah.
do you see AI agents becoming black hats?
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, everything with great power is going to, yield a sort of pain and distraction. So there's definitely like concerns regarding AI because AI is just like this is what Balaji said, and I think he said it like very well that AI is a centralized force and crypto is decentralized force.
Right.
So marrying those two is going to be an infinite like dance between those two different characteristics of those technologies.
Yep.
But there's been like a lot of development in trying to make as we are figuring out different ways of making LLM works, large language models, a new algorithm, new way to process all of the data. Um, at the same time, the years of development of like crypto technologies that happened in last couple of years since the boom of 2017, um, there's a really interesting um, there's like a really interesting research happening in the field of making the AI inference, which is the process of actually processing the request anonymous and hard to like impossible to actually associate with like one specific party. So there's like some hope in this regard.
Mhm.
We'll be able to maybe use those two with some specific guardrails and considerations, but um, I don't think it's like the only limits right now are only technical, and I think we're gonna solve them.
And do you think it's gonna take a long time, or do you think we are nearing a breaking point?
I think it's gonna take a long time. So I am not a CEO of like a multi-billion-dollar AI company who just like raised like 100, $200 million venture capital money. So I'm not going to tell you that AI AGI is coming in 2 years. I think I don't think it will ever come, but
Mhm,
at the same time, I don't think we'll be able to really drastically like increase the capabilities of the models
mhm.
very quickly. I think we're gonna have like it's gonna like happen linearly now. Um, and anyways, like even if we're gonna have like a very smart and super reasoning model, we still need to develop the interfaces to the existing infrastructure for AI to use it, and this will take a lot of time.
We just need to redesign the incentive structures because if we recreate these AI like as human beings, literally, then we will just be recreating the same, literally the same system with different tech doing the same thing. So, I mean, people will have the same incentives to be a white hat that they'll have the incentive to be a black hat. So, like, literally nothing will change. They'll just be AI agents interacting instead of humans. So, like, if we really do want more white hats or more AI agents to choose to be a white hat, then we have to align incentives in a way where like it actually makes sense for them to do that. And in theory, in like an open source world, like that actually will be the case. It's easier for a white hat to find a bug than it is for a black hat to hack into a closed system. So I mean, hopefully as we continue moving towards like open source and it becomes more standardized, etc., white hat AI agents will be more incentivized than black hats. But of course, there will be those big Bybit like treasuries that are just asking for it.
Yeah. I just hope that the AI will never be able to choose to be good or bad. I
Oh,
just hope we're gonna have some level of control
well,
over
I
it.
mean, it's inevitable.
Well, I'm the one who made a Matrix reference in the presentation, so
I mean, yeah, sentient AI already is sentient enough. We're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess if the real goal of base batches, if you're building an AI, is to build a sentient AI that becomes a white hat or a black hat. If that works, you may win a portion of the $1 million and go to the island in Singapore with Balaji. So if you want to hang out with Balaji on an island, then I think you guys should start figuring out how to build AI agents in a way that they can interact on chain without Rafi needing to control the helm. All right, Rafi, do you have any last words or last comments? Are there any last questions for Rafi that anyone has before we end the session?
If you guys have any like questions or just wanna catch me up later, you can find all of my contact details on my website, library.t, on Warpcast, which where I'm active. My handle is Rafi, or on my X account, which is not very active, but I'm improving slowly. It's me. It's no underline. I'm actually going to post right now. Say hi to all of you.
Hey,
Base.
quote cast the live stream so they can find it easy. Yeah,
Say, wow.
great. Thank you for being super active today. I mean, a lot of great questions. Incredible audience. Incredible. All right, I'm going to play our video one more time just for fun. So, Ravi,
OMG.
trying to begin every session, end every session with that, so it should be easy to put together make it a little easier to put together the YouTube videos. So, Rafi is the guy behind the scenes who makes all of the magic happen. Everyone, go show some love. Please go follow his Twitter. Homebase would be nothing without Rafi. So, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for everything you do for Homebase. Thank you so much for presenting the workshop. Was super informative. And I think I might have to start using Agent Git more.
For sure. Thank you, Luciana. Thank you, everybody, and wish you a good time. Thanks.